In just 1 week, Blinkit launched their 10-minute food delivery app Bistro, Ola rolled out Ola Dash in Bengaluru, MagicPin introduced magicNOW, a young startup called Zing was launched in Gurugram, and now even BigBasket has announced plans to enter the space. That's 5 big moves in 7 days. So why are all of these companies rushing into 10-minute food delivery? Well, the simple answer is money. Welcome to our weekly Indian startup news show here at Backstage with Millionaires. I'm Caleb Friesen, your host, and let's rewind just a bit. So 3 years ago, 10-minute food delivery wasn't really a thing here in India. Then though, Zepto showed up and changed everything. And fast forward to today, and India's quick commerce market is worth $3.3 billion and is expected to almost double to $6 billion by FY25. And Zepto alone has raised $2 billion from investors in the last 3 years. And then if you add Swiggy and Blinkit to the mix, it's pretty clear why everybody wants a slice of this pie. But until now, quick commerce was mostly about groceries. Then in 2022, while most people were still debating the need for 10-minute grocery delivery, Zepto was already starting to work on Zepto Cafe, a 10-minute food delivery service. And fast forwarding to today again, Zepto Cafe is doing 30,000 orders a day. Swiggy followed this with Bolt earlier this year, and they're already doing 90,000 daily orders. And so this rapidly growing market is exactly the reason why everybody is trying to get into this space right now. And some people are even comparing this to 2015 when VC money flooded into the food delivery space. And back then we saw the rise of companies like Swiggy and Zomato. But now companies like Blinkit, Ola, MagicPin, and BigBasket are hoping to replicate this success in the 10-minute food delivery space. And Blinkit's entry makes a lot of sense. Actually, they're already India's biggest player in quick commerce and are combining their expertise with Zomato's food delivery dominance to take on Zepto Cafe and Swiggy BOLT. Now for Ola, it's a bit of a comeback story. They launched Ola Cafe to deliver food in 20 minutes back in 2015, but then they shut that down in 2016. Then they tried quick commerce again in 2021 under Ola Dash, but they had to shut that down again in 2022. And now Bhavish Agrawal is giving it another shot with Ola Dash. And so hopefully the third time's a charm with this company. MagicPin, on the other hand, is betting on its strength as the largest seller app on ONDC's FMB category and its logistics arm, Velocity, to make magicNOW work. And then there's BigBasket, and with their expertise in quick deliveries through BBNow, they're looking to leverage their existing network to crack this market. So who do you think is going to survive this new 10-minute food delivery rush? All right, next up in the news, Indian space tech startup InspeCity has joined forces with Japan's orbital lasers to tackle one of space's biggest problems, orbital debris, or as we call it, space junk. And they're planning to equip robotic satellites with high-powered lasers to deal with this space junk. But here's the cool part. They're not blasting the debris into oblivion. Instead, these lasers will vaporize specific areas on the debris just enough to stabilize its movement without destroying it completely. And this cutting-edge technology will be mounted on InspeCity's robotic satellite Vida, offering a brand new way to clean up space. But InspeCity's vision doesn't stop there, because their ultimate goal is to build a city in space. And they're literally aiming for the stars here. InspeCity has already raised $1.5 million to start turning this ambitious dream into a reality. All right, next up in the news, Zepto has posted some pretty strong financial numbers for FY24. Their revenue jumped by 120%, going from 2,025 crore rupees in FY23 to 4,454 crore rupees for FY24. And at the same time, they managed to slightly reduce their losses, which have come down from 1,272 crore rupees in FY23 to 1,248 crore rupees in FY24. Zepto ended up spending 5,747 crore rupees in total in FY24, and the biggest chunk of that went into procuring products, which accounted for 60.5% of their expenses, amounting to 3,481 crore rupees. But what makes these numbers stand out is how Zepto stacks up against its competitors. Their revenue in FY24 was twice that of Blinkit and 4 times that of Swiggy Instamart. Now, apart from Zepto, another company has also released their FY24 financials, upGrad. Their revenue grew from 1,194 crore rupees in FY23 to 1,547 crore rupees in FY24, and at the same time, they even managed to cut down their losses by 50% from 1,142 crore rupees in FY23 to 560 crore rupees in FY24. And in terms of spending, the company spent most of their money on their employees, which amounted to 741 crore rupees. Now, staying in the edtech space here with these financials, let's look at Unacademy's financials for FY24. And this one is a bit of a mixed bag. Instead of growing, Unacademy's revenue actually dropped by 7%, going from 907 crore rupees in FY23 to 840 crore rupees in FY24. But here's the silver lining. While their revenue shrank, the company managed to significantly reduce their losses. In FY23, Unacademy reported losses of 1,678 crore rupees, but in FY24, that number dropped by 62% to just 631 crore rupees. All right, now let's go through and look at some IPO updates. So looking at MobiKwik first here, their IPO was oversubscribed 119 times, and it made an impressive debut on the stock market. On the Bombay Stock Exchange, MobiKwik stock was listed at a 58.5% premium, while on the NSE, it was slightly lower at a 57.7% premium. And it doesn't stop there, because MobiKwik's stock price has risen since its listing. And as of now, at the time of me filming this video, the share price has reached 533.6 rupees per share. That's a 90% growth from its allotment price of 279 rupees per share. All right, now let's move over to the funny news for today's video. This week, Indian startups raised a total of $47 million, which is significantly lower than last week, and it's way below the trend line. But let's look at some of the companies that raised funds this week. So the first one I want to talk about here is Bengaluru-based retail intelligence platform BBNow, which lets companies monitor the performance of their sales team, track their inventories, and analyze their sales data to give them real-time insights. And they raised $12 million in their Series B round. Following that, we have Gurugram-based intercity bus booking platform Zing, and they've raised $9 million in their Series A round. After that, we have Bengaluru-based Quanfluence, and this is a company that's trying to build photonic quantum computers, which are basically super fast quantum computers that use light to solve problems which are way too difficult for traditional computers to solve, and they've raised $2 million in their seed round. Next, we have Bengaluru-based neo-banking startup CuriMoney, and they allow users to earn twice the return that they'd get if their money was being held in a traditional bank account. But how do they do that? Well, instead of keeping your money idle in a bank, CuriMoney invests it in liquid mutual funds, letting it grow and give you better returns. But here's the best part. According to the company, they've secured an approval from the NPCI to allow their customers to even make UPI payments directly from their account while their money is earning interest from liquid mutual funds. And they've raised $1.2 million in their seed round. And then finally, we have Bengaluru-based biotech startup FibroHeal, which makes bandages out of silk protein, which are both cost-effective and faster at healing wounds than traditional bandages. And they've raised $730,000 in their pre-Series A round. All right, that is all the startup news that I have for you all this week. I'm Caleb Friesen, and this has been Backstage with Millionaires. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.